How do you get better at small talk? Because as an introvert, it can be hard work. I'm going to talk about the 3 things that you probably haven't heard of how to make small talk feel easy, effortless, and kind of like all the naturals do it. Small talk as an introvert is one of the hardest things to get over because it just sucks. I want to go deep. I want to jump in. I want to skip the foreplay, but you can't. Not in this society. There's a lot of people who need something more. And so I went on a little bit of research to find out, what is it? How do you actually get better at small talk? And I came up with these 3 things. That's what I'm going to share in this video. Stick around for number 3. I promise that one is the most important one. And it took me forever to learn it because I thought only 1 and 2 mattered. But it's more than that. So here we go. Number 1, it's the belief that anybody has common interest with you. It's the belief that there's always something in common between you and another person. It doesn't matter how different they are. It doesn't matter who they are. There is always something in common. And your job is to be that bloodhound, to get after the scent and find that thing that you as human beings on this spinning rock have in common with one another. And reframing it as it's always possible and there's always something is much, much better than, man, I don't like this dude. This dude's kind of bumming me out. Don't have anything in common. No, you do, but you have to find it. And that leads us to tip number 2. How do you find it? Well, you got to find the why behind the what. So they like tennis and you like reading. Maybe they're 2 different things, but there is a reason that they like what they like and you like what you like. Can you find the why behind the what? Maybe they like reading because it puts them in a state of flow and the world can kind of disappear for an hour, which is exactly why I love tennis, because I can just get on the court and just be in the zone. And for 1 hour, nothing else matters. And maybe that feeling of I just want to escape for a little bit and be in my own bubble. Hey, maybe that's what we have in common as introverts. I don't know. Find the why behind the what. Video games and cooking are 2 different things, but maybe it's all about feeling immersed in an activity. You always have something in common with somebody as long as you start to find out why people do what they do. Simon Sinek has that great TED talk on this, Start with Why, but it doesn't just apply to business and marketing. It's a basic human fundamental idea that it's not about what we do, it's about the motivations, the drives, the things that make us human. What that leads to is asking a lot of questions, being curious. These are all great things and we know this. However, we can fall into a trap where all we do is ask questions, be curious, get to know, keep probing, keep asking. And by the end of the night, you've learned so much about the other person, they haven't learned anything about you. Does that sound familiar? Because that's been my life forever. And it's frustrating because what if somebody else isn't a great question asker, isn't curious about you? I start to feel like, man, I put in all that legwork. Come on. Let's make it 50-50, but not everybody's like that. And that's why it's so important. Tip number 3, own your interests. You gotta deliver, you gotta bring yourself to the conversation and talk what you wanna talk about. That's the hardest thing for me, is to actually say, you know what? That reminds me of a book I'm reading and let me tell you about it. Without asking, without requesting permission, I'm just going to decide we're going to talk a little bit about what I want to talk about and I'll get some feelers out. If you want to enjoy speaking, then you got to speak about what you enjoy. It's the only way. Small talk, for it to be really something you like, you got to like talking about something you enjoy. Like, it's got to also fulfill you. So talk about the video games, talk about the book you're reading, talk about what you saw on TV last night. Bring up stuff you enjoy because you never know. Other people might enjoy it too, and it might spark even more interesting directions. So take that confidence and own your own interests. Don't just be curious about other people. That's what most introverts tend to do. Also have the courage to assert yourself and bring up some conversation topics of your own that you want to talk about. Those are the 3 tips, and hopefully your small talk will get better with a little bit of practice. Just remember to own your interests because it's hard for us introverts to do it, but it's going to pay off in the end. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time.